Hey GlamFam, Linwood here, and today we're going to be doing a follow-up video to the whole Gorilla Glue incident involving Miss Tessica Brown that we discussed last time. Now, if you did not see that last video, I would encourage you to check that one out. I'm not going to be giving some of the same clips for context just because I feel like it would be a waste of your time, and honestly, there's a lot to unpack in this video. So let's dive in. Since the last video, there have been a number of different things that have been put out and posted, and I want to be able to share some of the different truths that I have found, as well as some of the different things that have either been disproven by myself and some others, or things that just kind of seem a little questionable. Honestly, there's a lot going on with this, and the more it goes on, I feel like the more confusion kind of comes around this entire situation. In my last video, a lot of people had issues with the fact that I was referring to Tessica as a young lady or young woman, given that Miss Tessica Brown is 40 years old. According to Entertainment Tonight, in an article that they recently did with an interview with her, they stated that she is 40 years old, that she has 5 children, her own daycare business, and she also runs a dance team. We'll dive into that a bit more as we go on, but I did want to go ahead and give you guys that portion of information there, just so that way you have that as a lens to kind of consider everything we're going to discuss in this video through. There's been a lot. So there are claims that she's gone bald, there are claims that there's a lawsuit in place, there are claims that she has a manager, there's a lot going on. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a number of different things. If you see me look at my phone, it's because I've got screenshots and all that on there. Any screenshots that I have to share with you, I'll be sure to put on screen, as well as any type of sources that I cite, anything like that, I'll be sure to put in the description box down below. Now, first, I was wondering what the deal was because I saw that she had posted a post on Instagram stating that she did not have a Twitter page, and on the Twitter page I went ahead and looked it up, and the Twitter page was asking people to pray for her, all that, and was sharing some of the same posts that she was putting on Instagram and on TikTok. She hasn't really posted many updates on TikTok, to be quite honest with you, and they were going ahead and putting these different posts up with a Cash App sign on there, and I'll put some of those screenshots up there. And they shared a photo which then got spread, and people started saying that she was bald, that she was bald underneath there, all these different things. And turns out I had to do a reverse image search on this one, and in this image it wasn't even the original post I found, but I found a post on Instagram from October of 2020, which is before this whole incident even took place, where it was showing a before of a woman that had alopecia and the after of a quick weave being done with the woman's face blocked out. Now, of course, me being the type of person I am, I'm very detail oriented, so the first thing I looked at that picture that kind of threw me off to be like, that can't be her, was the hands, because I was thinking like, okay, where are her nails? The hands didn't look the same, but I'm more detail oriented about those type of aspects as a cosmetologist, so I noticed those pretty much straight away. It just looked very suspicious to me. So that portion there, if you've been seeing that picture float around, that picture is not Tessica. That picture is a lie. I really wish that the internet was not the type of place that it is, where it's sharing out so much misinformation that you really can't easily distinguish truth from false, but this is the day and age that we live in. The page on Twitter did end up getting shut down, I think after 2 days of being active, so if only they would be able to shut down other people's Twitter pages faster than that, but that's for a whole separate video. It is now currently suspended, but it was under @Tessica Brown, so it looked like it was her. It had her photos, it had the same post, she's asking people for prayers and all that, and then just happened to slip in a Cash App situation and all that. Now, of course, there are a number of people that have had issues with the fact that she does have a GoFundMe. Now, the GoFundMe, she states in an interview that the GoFundMe was initially set up because when she started reading to see the different side effects that could be caused by this Gorilla Glue to her scalp, that she thought, you know, I might be needing wigs and things like that. Now, honestly, I thought that she was going to say for medical care, being that she had to go to the hospital and things like that. So I was slightly thrown off by the prioritizing of wigs over medical care in that instance. But that's neither here nor there. So she did go ahead and state that and put that out there. Now, the issue a lot of other people are having with this is that the goal was $1,500 on her GoFundMe page, and at the time that I'm recording this, she has raised over $19,159. So you've seen all sorts of different things online. You've seen things in support of her, you've seen things that are kind of trashing her, and literally everywhere in between. I saw Lala Milan, who is a comedian on Instagram, make a full out video where she was mimicking her in a tutorial of how to do this, and then she turned around and sent her $500 on her GoFundMe, and it brings me to another point that we'll get to momentarily. So a lot of people have had issues with the fact that she does still have the GoFundMe up, being that the goal was $1,500, and you've now graciously exceeded that goal with very little medical bills because of the fact that a plastic surgeon out of LA did go ahead and offer to remove the glue from her head for free. She had a appointment with them I believe on the 10th, so today, the day that I'm filming this, and she was supposed to go and see them today and hopefully get all of that taken care of. Now, prior to that, she has been able to get a stylist and did actually cut the ponytail off using Goof Off, which I referenced in the last video. They were able to get a good degree of that glue out of one of the sides of her hair at least, and be able to get down to that scalp some, but you can't really see the condition of the scalp underneath there just due to the fact that it's not showing in the photos. But I would like to point out something here, and that is that I did look at the video again where I showed at the end last time of the update where she was rubbing the acetone wipes on Tessica's head, and Tessica's reaction was quite extreme to that. And Tessica specifically stated in an interview, which I'll link down in the description box below, that everything that she put on her hair burned. She also stated in that interview that she could not even get a razor up underneath it. So this was glued down to her scalp. So she must have applied an ample amount of this product to it. She also stated in that same interview that she did know that it was Gorilla Glue she was putting on her hair and did not confuse it for another product. She just simply thought that when she got home, she could rinse this out. So I will say a lot of this would not be painted well for her if that lawsuit approach were the case, but we'll deal with that more in a moment as well because there's a lot to unpack. Given that her response to having the acetone wipes on her hair was so extreme, it made me like, okay, something here is going on. So I looked up the SDS, or the safety data sheet, otherwise known as a material safety data sheet, for the Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. And it said it could cause a number of different issues, down to frostbite of the skin, defatting of the skin, and I had to look up defatting because I was like, okay, what is this? I'll go ahead and put a couple of pictures on screen of what defatting of the skin looks like, just so you know that that could be a potential thing that is going on up underneath this hair, which could actually be cause for that. If you've ever had acrylic nails, as a cosmetology instructor, I deal with acetone on a regular basis. Acetone can burn if there's an abrasion or if your skin is cracked, something like that, but it should not burn just upon the applying of that unless you've been scratching, you've got an open sore, something along those lines. Being that she was giving such extreme response to that, it leads me to believe that there's likely some damage to her scalp or some abrasions on the scalp underneath all of this, which would cause her scalp to be burning to that extreme. That's something that she may still have to be concerned with, so she may not fully be out of the woods yet, even with that appointment today. And I'm hoping, honestly, that it does not result in her having to do a skin graft or something along those lines. This could still be rather serious in her instance, and we just simply don't know. The story is literally still unfolding as we, like, literally every single day there's something new that's posted, and I'm finding myself having to check and fact check and look into certain things. Now, there is a rumor that she was trying to sue. That rumor started with a TMZ article which had a couple of discrepancies in it that kind of were red flags for me. So in that article it stated that she might try to sue, that legal counsel had contacted her, and that she was looking into her options. From there, people took that and stated that she was trying to sue, and a lot of people that felt like they were empathetic towards her instantly lost that sense of empathy. I will say it does definitely, the notion of that does make people feel a lot less empathetic towards you when it's a situation like this, because it's not necessarily the fault of Gorilla Glue if someone uses their product incorrectly. There have also been a number of different people that have stated, well, you know what, the lawsuit aspect worked with McDonald's with the hot coffee, but in the instance of the hot coffee lawsuit from years ago, the hot coffee was well above drinking temperature when it was given to the woman in that instance. The lid was not secured on there correctly, and when she put the coffee in her lap, the coffee spilled onto her lap, causing, I believe, 2nd-degree burns to the inside of her thighs, which she ended up having to, no, 3rd-degree, which she ended up having to do skin grafts and all that for the inside of her thigh. That was at the negligence of the lid being loose and at the fact that the coffee was excessively hot. That deals with some negligence to the company. In this instance, the statement on TMZ was saying that it did not state specifically not to put it in the hair, but it does state not to put on the skin, which the hair is attached to. So I don't necessarily know that that would be a good idea in Miss Brown's case. That's neither here nor there either, because whether or not I feel like it's a good idea does not dictate as to whether or not she would follow through with that. But according to Entertainment Tonight's article where they did interview her, she went ahead and denied all claims that she was considering any lawsuits, anything like that. She also denied a separate claim in there, which was a discrepancy that I noticed, that she was in the hospital for 22 hours trying to get the glue out, and that the doctors and the nurses were dumbfounded, and that from there she went ahead and went home and continued to try treatment. She stated in a separate interview with a Canadian radio show, which I'll link down in the description box below, that she chose to go home because they told her it would take up to 20 hours in order for them to get the glue out, and she wanted to do it in the comfort of her own home. So they sent her home with nail polish remover wipes and with saline in order for her to be able to do it at the house, and that was a clip that we were seeing at the end of my last video. So quite a bit there. Let me see what else we got going on here. Now, a couple of different people, oh, by the way, that radio show was Toronto's Kiss 92.5, the Roz and Mocha show. And she did say that she was feeling a little bit better in that one, but she did say that in that instance, when she first sprayed it, she just noticed her ponytail kept getting tighter and tighter. And so, of course, to me, if it's getting tighter and tighter, there's some concern there as well, so damage to the scalp. So that's just something to kind of be concerned with, especially when she said she could not get a razor under there. Now, I have also noticed a number of different people that have spoke out in terms of the fact that she has management now. So, of course, we've dealt with the lawsuit piece of it, which she denies. I honestly don't think that would be the best move for her in terms of public relations and the public's opinion of her, especially given the degree that she stated she was going through in the ET article. But she does have management, which she also has listed in her Instagram bio. So I did check that out, and it looked as though the manager was actually trying to procure her travel in terms of a rental company, things like that, for her to go into LA for her appointment. But that's just hearsay because it was not confirmed it was for her. But it was interesting how it was for the exact same day that she was supposed to be flying into LA that they would post that. So the aspect with her having management, and this is something where I can see why people would feel conflicted, because it does seem a lot like you could potentially be chasing clout for the attention, things like that. My thing here is she already has the attention. She doesn't have to chase the attention. At this point, the attention is chasing her because everyone wants a follow-up. Everyone wants to know what is going on. So in that instance, you've got a lot of different people that are asking for interviews. They're asking for her to come on their shows. They're asking for these different pieces of information and things along that line, which TMZ seems to be having quite a few different pieces of information coming out. So there's been some speculation there as well. When you have that many people that are asking for a time slot, essentially, they are making money off of your story, and they're making money off of the fact that so many people are ridiculing you, talking about you, all that. This has now become an international phenomenon of a discussion. And so when it comes down to it, it's capitalistic. She's definitely capitalizing off of this. But honestly, I can't blame her, because if everyone else is making money off of ridiculing you, you might as well reap some benefit from that as well. That being said, I do feel like at this point it's probably a good idea for her to take down the GoFundMe page because of the fact that you exceeded your goal. In addition to that, you have kept it up for the purpose of purchasing wigs, and Beyonce's own hairstylist offered to help her out with making wigs for her, or making a wig for her, and assisting her with scalp care after all of this is done. Hey, sweetheart.
I want to join your video.
Okay, only for a moment. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Okay. I'll be right out, okay? Alright, go ahead to the living room. I love you. I don't know. I mean, y'all can leave your opinions, but I'm sure you will, in the comments down below. There's, like I said, there's a lot to unpack here. She did state that, and this could be some of the reason for the GoFundMe as well as the managing situation as well, because she did state that due to COVID, her daycare had already been struggling, and as you can imagine, due to the publicity and all of that, she has been seeing quite a bit of flack from people as to whether or not it's safe for her to care for children and things along that line. She's been receiving some threatening and hateful messages, and the part that concerns me here is the fact that she has 5 children, and those children have dealt with all sorts of negative impacts as a result of what she has done, in terms of their teachers talking about it and their peers talking about it and harassing them about it and kind of ridiculing them. It's even gotten to the point where she said her own daughter doesn't even want her to comb her hair, according to the ET article. She did state that, let's see here, I told my son today I wish I could just go back because I'm over it. I'm over it. She said, I'm usually a person that doesn't care what people say. I just move at my own pace. I don't care what people say, but it's getting to the point where people on TV are saying stuff about me. So I will say, when you are getting this much national and international coverage, and that was not your intent, it can really be overwhelming. And I'm looking at this through the lens of a content creator, where I've literally put my life online, and I am frequently scrutinized for people's opinion of me outside of anything that I may say. And I am seeing some of that happen in her regard. Now, I will say she did choose to put this online. She did choose to put it out there, and she claims that she put it out there because she felt like someone online would be able to help her. The area of concern there is that she did put it online, and she stated that it was to try to get help from people that might have some ideas, but at that point had not contacted Gorilla Glue for possible solutions and had not gone to the doctor, and this was well after a month of this style being in. So of course you can see a lot of people have conflicting information on this. She was supposed to go in to see the doctor today. I doubt that they would have done a surgery straight away, because most surgeons, most doctors are going to want to assess and look at things first and then go ahead and schedule for your appointment. But this is, I'm sure, a special case, so I'm not really sure how they would go about all of that. So I'm sure there'll be more updates. I've tried to post some to my story for this situation, but this information has been changing and growing so quickly that there has been, honestly, an abundance of information to cover. So I wanted to ensure that I did another video specifically to update you on the information that is here regarding her hair and regarding where she is at with that. She does state here in the article for ET, I don't understand what all the other stuff is coming from. She said the company's statement and reports of her hiring an attorney. No, I've never said that. Again, I don't know where all this is coming from, because at this point everybody is saying it, and that is dealing with her potentially hiring an attorney. Now, Gorilla Glue did put a statement out. Basically, they stated that they knew what was going on with her. They were sorry to hear of the unfortunate events, and that they were glad that she was able to get some medical care according to her post at that time. They have not posted another statement to my knowledge, but of course there are some people that feel as though Gorilla Glue should pay her. There are some people that feel the exact opposite because it's her own decision, and of course there are some people that kind of feel in the middle of the road. I will say this has been excellent advertising for Gorilla Glue. They probably could never have paid for. It's been incredibly effective, and you cannot search this without somehow mentioning Gorilla Glue. I mean, they've been talked about multiple times just in this video. So yes, it's been an excellent advertisement for them. It's a complex situation, and I am trying my best to stay as neutral as possible and to try to look at it through the lens of her making a bad decision, and some of her decisions since then really not being the most amazing decisions either, but I still don't feel as though the intent was to chase clout. I just don't feel as though that was the intent there. Now, my concern is you're starting to see other people that are posting things, and I don't know how valid some of these are, but because of the nature of the internet, TikTok, things along that line, even some of my students have shown me videos where people have allegedly used things like Gorilla Glue in order to wax their bikini area, and then like show people pouring milk on there. That has not been confirmed as to whether or not that was true at this time. There was another report that I saw where someone had tried to adhere lashes on with Gorilla Glue since then. And so to me, just the fact that this is coming into conversation more and it seems to be something people are making fun of, my concern is for this to not become a challenge, not become things like that. I don't want this to be something that shapes the narration of this. Now, despite the fact that I feel like it would be a poor idea for a lawsuit in this instance, I do feel like it would be wise for Gorilla Glue to go ahead and update their packaging to include hair, as well as any type of nail affixations, or just putting something on there that states for industrial use only. Please do not use on the body in any way, shape, or form. Something along those lines is all encompassing, because just the fact that this can be considered as a possibility of a lawsuit is a liability for that company. Not that I'm trying to protect them, but I just feel like it would be a good business practice, and it could potentially protect people in the future from having this happen, or from even being able to utilize this as an excuse of their actions. Of course, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If there's any other information, I'll try to keep you guys abreast of this. I hate the fact that I am kind of feeding into this, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I went ahead and did the first one talking about possible solutions, which I'm thankful that some of those solutions that were posted in there were used and did help. But at the same time, I feel like this is almost fueling the fire while I'm trying to put out information that is kind of correcting some of the different things that are out there that have been proven to be untrue. So I don't, if in any way this offends you, just know that it's not my intent. This is not a video that I take lightly, and this is not something I would typically post on my channel. The only reason why I've discussed it is the fact that it is hair related, and this is a hair and beauty channel. Of course, if you'd like to get more hair care tips and advice, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to get hair care tips and advice daily from me, up to 10 times a day, you can follow me on TikTok at GlamFam. And until next time, you guys, take care, God bless, and stay glam. You know I love you, boo. Bye.